This segment is sponsored by RVA Wealth Management.
Inevitably, recent times have caused you to think about your finances in new ways. We're joined by David Corin, founder and wealth manager of RVA Wealth Management, for guidance that will assist us all. Hi, David.
Good morning, Andreas. How are you?
I'm doing well. This is an important topic. I think we're all kind of trying to figure out where we stand in the midst of a pandemic. And you have some really good knowledge on what the status of the market truly is. Tell us about that.
Well, obviously it's been a historic year. We've never seen this kind of a drop in GDP. It's been the largest in history, actually greater than even what we saw during the Great Depression. So the pandemic and the shutdown that was self-induced had a huge economic impact. The markets pulled back by 34%, so we saw a big drop in terms of what we saw in the stock market. But fortunately, the government stepped in with quite a bit of fiscal stimulus, both the Fed and the government. They really stepped it up and helped mitigate the downturns that we were seeing. And the stock market, fortunately, because of that support from the expansion of the Fed balance sheet, from the PPP loans, from the unemployment benefits, from the personal checks that were sent out, all of that has helped to stabilize and bring the markets back up. Now, that's a lot of money that's been printed, so there is the risk of future inflation, something we are watching and are concerned about, but I don't think it's going to show up for some time yet, not until the economy really turns around. We do have a bit of a disconnect between the stock market and the economy. That should play out over time with the economy slowly catching up to where the stock market has gone. And we have a saying that as long as the Fed is supporting, you don't fight the Fed. So the Fed is definitely supporting the market. And as that continues, we anticipate this market sort of staying up where it is right now. At least that's our hope. But we also have a lot of uncertainty out there. When you look around, we obviously have the civil unrest. We've got an election coming. We've got issues with the pandemic that are not resolved yet. I don't know that the economy will get back to where it was until we do have a vaccine that's widely given out there. So it's going to take a little bit of time to get to that point. But long term, this impact from the pandemic could be pretty significant. And by 2022, we're hoping to get the economy back to where it was prior to the pandemic. But we do need that vaccine. So we are watching a lot of things out there as far as what could happen with this election, with the pandemic, with uncertainties around what's going on with China, North Korea, Iran, Russia, et cetera. So there are some concerns, and we could get a pullback, and we actually expect one before the end of the year. But with that said, I think the economy, the markets have recovered nicely. The economy's got some work to do, but is coming back. So that's the good news.
Yeah, and as we look at what the differences are with investing as it previously was and what we can expect in the pandemic, give us your best tips for how we should proceed right now.
Well, obviously you have to be concerned about future inflation. So things like gold and silver have done really well, and they may continue to do well if we do see some rise in inflation out there. Also, another good inflation hit is stocks. The recovery has been sort of very specific because there's been quite a few sectors that have done really well. I'm talking primarily technology and healthcare. But other sectors, things like real estate, the service industry, transportation, energy, industrials, financials, most of those sectors have not recovered. In fact, many of those are off 25 to 30%. So it's going to be, you need to invest in the sectors that you believe are going to do well in this economic environment, companies that you believe will do well as providing some hedging for yourself in terms of having some safety nets in your portfolio. And we do that through a variety of different approaches. Some of them can be as actually just having more cash in the portfolio, having some core bonds in the portfolio, as well as the gold and silver approach.
Well, thank you so much for that information. I mean, I think it's something we all need to be really focused on right now, and understanding the difference in messages that you'll receive depending on where you're getting your information. What you've said has been very encouraging, knowing that there are good things happening as long as you invest wisely. And folks like RVA Wealth Management are certainly able to assist in that regard. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Andreas. I appreciate the opportunity to be here and speak with you today.
For those of you who are interested in learning more, we'll be posting more on our website at wtbr.com/VTM.
RVA Wealth Management is located at 4050 Inns Lake Drive, Suite 155, right there in Glen Allen. For all the information, you can call 804-622-1722 or visit online, rvawealthmanagement.com.